Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine after the night, after the morning, after the night before, or the evening before, or the afternoon before. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please, guys, and don't forget to smash a like on the chat on the video, guys. Look, guys, disappointing, innit? It's been a very slumber few hours. Well, 10 hours, 12 hours since Manchester United drew 1-1 with Fulham yesterday. And I think the overriding disappointment about the game yesterday was the fact that we should have won the game. We should have won the game. I mean, we had enough chances. If we put if the Cunha goal goes in, that chance that Cunha was clean through goes in, Man United probably win the game pretty comfortably, guys. But the fact that we're relying on a goalkeeper to have the best assist in the game for Manchester United does paint a picture of how bad we actually are as a football team. Now, I don't come on here. I'm not going to come on. I'm going to bring the positives. I'm going to bring the negatives. I don't want to say anything too over the top, but I would criticize where criticism is due. And criticism was due yesterday. And I think many of us envisioned what this would happen yesterday when we looked at the lineup, when we looked at the no striker, when we looked at the false number 9. And yes, Man United kept possession well. Mason Mount probably had an okay game, and it probably did all right. But it's not threatening. And time again, we're talking about the same problems. Ultimately, the biggest problem in our football team right now, it's not tactics. It's the fact that we're shoehorning players into the wrong positions. Bruno Fernandez should not be playing a number 8. Bruno Fernandez is not a number 8. And Bruno Fernandez had a very bad game yesterday. Again, Bruno Fernandez cost us in the Europa League final, giving the ball away. Bruno Fernandez cost us in the game against Arsenal, giving the ball away, which contributed into a corner. Bruno Fernandez missed a penalty yesterday and was petulant and got rattled by the referee because he gave him a little nudge. Now, Bruno Fernandez said that penalty wasn't because of the referee gave him a little nudge. But at the same time, he said he was triggered by it. When I look at Bruno Fernandez penalties over the last few years, Bruno Fernandez penalties are generally the same. Buried in the corner, tapped, like slyly, like little dunk, goal. He hit it hard, like out of anger. So he put his own personal emotion ahead of the football team. His own personal emotion. And after that penalty, his whole game went to the pits. If you were not in the right frame of mind to take a penalty, Bruno, give it to Mbumo, give it to Cunha, they would have buried it for you. It cost us the game. His petulance cost us the game. He's throwing his rattle that he's playing cost us the game. And it's not just him. There is a slow build-up. The team is slow from the back. We do not have a link man between the midfield and the defense. It's very, very pedestrian sometimes, and we're walking on the pitch. We're not creating enough chances. We're not getting crosses into the box. Sesko came on the pitch yesterday, and it took Manchester United 30 minutes to make one cross to Sesko. 30 minutes. All I see is wiggle, 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 cut in. Wiggle, 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 cut in. I want to see crosses. Ahmad, poor again, because Ahmad doesn't get the ball in the box. Yes, Bassi did a good job and on the likes of Mbumo and stuff, and defensively, Fulham were okay. But overall, the shape of the team was, it was just all over the place. And I contribute that to the midfield. Casemiro missing ghost action again. I just feel like if Ruben Amorim truly wants to play Bruno Fernandez every single game, which he is, he's either got to change his formation to a 4-2-3-1 or he's got to drop him. That is the two things he can do. And there is nothing in between. You cannot even play a 4-4-1-1. You cannot play a 4-5-2, a 4-5-1, sorry. You cannot play. The only thing we can do is play a 4-3-3, but then a 4-3-3 is exactly what we played under Ten Hag, and most of these players who are playing now didn't work in it. And this is what I'm talking about. So, look, again, disappointing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a disappointing result. Ruben Amorim got it wrong yesterday. Players are poor again. Same culprits again, guys. Same culprits again. And also, in a positive light, the same culprits are the ones that are playing well as well. The same ones who are playing well last season are playing well now. The ones that we rate are playing well. Lenny Yoro, again, an absolute animal. Absolute animal. Look, there was obviously, we got a little bit of concern about Mbeumo. Mbeumo doesn't look fit. Cunha, again, absolutely phenomenal again. Probably one of the man of the match contenders. But guys, you know, that game there was there for the taking, in my opinion. And I felt Man United, if they just worked a little bit, you know, on a little bit more, being a bit more positive in their football and going forward a little bit more, rather than being so slow in the build-up and stuff. Bruno playing these hero balls. And I said it yesterday and the day before yesterday, probably a day before that. Bruno plays these long balls to Mbeumo and Cunha. Mbeumo and Cunha thrive when they get the ball to feet. When they get the ball to feet. Now, look, this is not a Ruben Amorim out show, because I'm not Ruben Amorim out. I give criticism where criticism deserves to be. You can do two things at once. Some people think that you have to criticize, that you have to be Amorim out. I'm not Amorim out. Absolutely. I think Amorim's a good manager. But his stubbornness sometimes is going to do the better of him. Favoritism will beat him at the end of the day. It will sack him. Let me tell you that right now. He needs to pick the best team. The best team, as we said on here, is Ugarte and Mainu. They work very well together. They work in tandem. If you don't want to play Ugarte, then you play Casemiro and Mainu. Bruno does not play in that position. He is not a midfielder, and we cannot shoehorn him in that midfield. And we were saying it time and time again. And if he just listened to us, he wouldn't have lost the game to Arsenal. We probably would have beaten Fulham, and we would be sitting here in a decent start to the season, you know? And this is what we're talking about. Now, guys, a lot of positivity is coming. Bayinde had a good game, by the way, funny enough. But Bayinde, of course, his corners are a little bit suspect again. You know, they could have scored a couple of goals for them just by corners. Very, very excited to the fact that City Lammens will be coming to the football club. We're waiting for Here We Go. It's imminent, guys. It is imminent. Here We Go will be very, very soon, guys. And City Lammens will be a Manchester United player. In regards to this week, guys, it is the last few days of the transfer window. Guys, time has flown, but it is the last few days of the transfer window. Will we sign a midfielder? Rumours are circulating. Man United might come in with another cheeky bid for Baleba. Will Man United make a bid for Baleba? Will Man United do something incredible by the end of this window? Because I think they do. I think they do need to fix that midfield. But again, I think about it, and I think if we brought in Baleba, we're still going to have the Bruno problem. We're still going to have the Bruno problem right there on Baleba's right-hand side, and he's going to be there kicking those hero balls again. Bruno took his own personal emotion, his own petulance, and totally finished the game for us, because he was not going to be taken off. He was moaning, groaning, miserable. Guys, listen, we used to trigger referees. Man United players used to trigger referees. We were not triggered. Man United captain should never be triggered. You think Roy Keane was triggered if he got a little nudge from the referee? You're a Man United captain, for goodness sake. You are the Manchester United captain. You take it and you move on. Win the game for Manchester United. That's all that matters. Not a petulant little, a little child. Oh, he nudged me. He didn't even say sorry. Come on, man. Come on. We're meant to be Manchester United here. What is going on with this football club? These are the problems at the football club. It's not boiled down to one thing. You can be right about a number of things, because there are a number of things that are wrong at this football club at the moment. There are a number of things. I would personally say to Ruben Amorim, if you want to play Bruno in that position, you can't play him in that position. You either play him in number 10 or don't play him at all. That's what I would say. Play the 4-2-3-1 or nothing else. Who played 4-2-3-1 at the weekend? Tottenham Hotspur. What was the score? You know, it is a good formation. You could play the two pivots in midfield. You could play 3 number 10s, and you could play the striker up front. It's better. It's more attacking. You don't need 3 defenders, especially the fact that we got De Ligt and Lenny Yoro, or De Ligt and Aiden Heaven. We got those 2 defenders in defense. They can do it themselves. Those 2 can do it themselves. They don't need 3. You know what I mean? Man United played a 4-4-2 most of the time. And Gary Neville and Dennis Irwin, or Paul Parker and Dennis Irwin, were basically wingers anyway. They were there, we're doing overlapping runs. We were left sometimes with 1 at the back. Sometimes you have to sacrifice it. Take a chance, mate. The lineup, of course, guys, it was, we were very upset about the lineup. A lot of us were. But you know what? To be honest with you, Man United played okay in the opening half. They played okay in the first half. Felt Man United were unlucky not to win. But again, we're looking for something special. We're not getting chances after chance after chance like Man United used to. Creating clear-cut chances. We're not creating clear-cut chances. It's all about genius moments. A genius moment for Cunha. You know, a genius moment from Mbeumo, something like that. You know, that's what we're looking for at the moment. Long shots, 30 yards, long shots. You know, what can we say? There is obviously interest in Bruno Fernandez. As I said this week, I don't think Bruno Fernandez is going anywhere. I don't think Bruno Fernandez will go to Saudi Arabia. I think the ship has sailed in regards to that. Guys, I do believe that. I don't think Bruno will be going to Saudi Arabia right now. Man United cannot replace Bruno Fernandez in this little amount of time, considering we need a midfielder right now. My biggest concern is that Bruno Fernandez is irreplaceable. Especially now that we rejected the 100 million that was offered to him. It just seemed like he's a little bit irreplaceable now, you know, and I don't think that should be the case. I really don't. I think no player in that football team right now should be irreplaceable, you know. Big up everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you're all blessed. Hope everyone is good. Let me just welcome my brilliant community, of course, guys. Big up Tyborg. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. It's better to avoid socials if you're a Man United fan. This channel hasn't lost it yet, and this is why I'm here. Constructive criticism is very important, guys, and I'm sure Sal will agree with me. Tyborg, absolutely agree. I've seen a lot of people throwing the book at Ruben Amram, you know, saying, oh, he's had 8 months, he's had this. Look, guys, the majority of the team that was under Erik ten Hag is still there. The majority of the problems are still there. You know, this is what we're talking about at the end of the day. We still got Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony at this football club. Rashford's on loan. He's going to be back next season, isn't it? At the end of the day, look, people are going to overreact. They are. I know that we're upset. I know we're fatigued from last season. I know there's a bit of PTSD, but we just need to be a little bit calm about the Ruben Amram out. I like to have a decent conversation about what Ruben Amram can do to fix this. Now, guys, changing your formation is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of being defeated either. Sir Alex Ferguson had to change his formation in Europe because he was deemed naive in Europe at times when we used to play some of the bigger teams in Europe and we used to concede goals. So Sir Alex Ferguson changed to a 4-5-1 formation, right? He changed his formation in Europe. Sometimes you have to adapt. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a tweak just to change it a little bit because it's not working in the Premier League. You cannot play certain styles in certain leagues. Certain styles don't work. Unfortunately, they don't. As much as he wants to force this formation, sometimes, mate, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in the Premier League. Now, before Ruben Amram came into this football club, I was a gospel about it. I said that we shouldn't be playing 3 at the back. It should be a 4 at the back. You do what you want in the attacking third, but it should be a 4 at the back. You know what I mean? And the 3 at the back, we don't need 3. We really don't. We're Man United. We shouldn't really need 3. You know, the biggest teams in Europe do not play 3 at the moment. You know, so I said to Man United, shouldn't be playing 3 at the back. It shouldn't be a 3, you know, but it is. And I accepted it for what it is. But now that it's difficult for these players, whether they've got the IQ, whether they're good enough, it remains to be seen. You know, it's up in the air. But if they cannot play this formation, right, we need to have a hard look at this formation and say, look, it's not working. Let's simplify it a little bit. Let's do a 4-2-3-1. With that formation, you can play the double pivot, Mainu and Ugarte, whoever you want, 3 number 10s, and the striker. And you know what? And what you would say, Man United taking risks, the fullbacks can still go forward and act as wingers. They can still do that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So my biggest thing is 4-4-2. I would love to have a 4-4-2. I don't know why people don't play a 4-4-2 anymore. Guys, it's all about the effort that you implement into the game. It's all about the effort that you put into the game. It's not so much about tactics, but you know what? We have to simplify it a little bit, you know, at the end of the day. Pick up Tyborg. It's obvious things aren't good at the moment, and that second half reminded me of the misery of last season. But we must believe in Amram. A win next week can change everything. Absolutely, Tyborg. My obviously biggest concern is that we got Man City and we got Liverpool and we got Chelsea coming up, of course, which is going to be very, very difficult, of course, and it's going to be a huge test for Man United, and not only a huge test for Ruben Amram, a huge test for this fan base, because we go into those games and we don't win in those games, and hopefully we do. We did beat Man City last season. We drew Liverpool. If we don't win any of those games, right, or we lose all of them, for example, there is going to be big noises in this fan base. Look, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm definitely not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be the one shouting from the rooftop, get him out. I'm not going to be sitting there in a little room, two man deep, so talking about blah, 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 spitting on the camera and things like that. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be like, I understand the context of what's going on at the moment. This rebuild that so-called has happened, this 9 out of 10 window that some people have thrown at me consistently is not a 9 out of 10. It's still a 5. It's still a 5, even with Senny Lammens. Because we've done this late. We've waited to 2 games into the season, right? We've not fixed the midfield. We've got a very, very, very thin squad, guys. Even you look at Fulham and you look at their squad and you look at Fulham squad and you think their bench is better than ours. You know, their bench is better than ours. Let's be real, guys, here. You know, and look, this is why I say we need to hold the ones in charge accountable. They didn't rebuild this team. This team has not been rebuilt. We do not have a right winger as well, guys. People are underestimating that. I've been preaching this for months. We do not have a right winger. Dalot is an absolute dud player. Dalot is a passion merchant. That's what he is at the end of the day. He is not a Man United player. You know, we need a proper right winger. If you're going to play that formation, you need a proper right wing back, a Frimpong, i.e. he's gone to Liverpool, of course, but a Fanderson is available. Someone like that who can get back and defend. It's quite obvious that Ahmad is struggling in this position. He's not a right wing back. He's not. He can't do the defensive work. He's not a defender. And just like Bruno is not a midfielder, Ahmad is not a right wing back. That is just it. So Ahmad is on the bench, right? And you have to accept that. You have to get a player that fits that system, you know? And I'm surprised we haven't done that. If you have to play Mantato from the youth, go and get Mantato from the youth. Go and get him, see what he can do. No, we got Burnley next week. It's a great opportunity. We got Grimsby on Wednesday. It's a great opportunity to try some new players here and there, see what they can do, you know? But stick to them. Stick with them. You know, and sometimes I look at the friendlies and I think we're far more balanced in friendlies. We're far more balanced than we are in Premier League games because even when we play young players, we play the players in their correct positions. You know, I do believe that Bruno Fernandez needs to leave. I'm sorry, guys, but I believe he needs to leave. I believe it's the end of Bruno Fernandez. I think that now it's the start of the end. I mean, that comment yesterday about, you know, being triggered by the referee and basically kick the ball over the bar because you were annoyed like a little child and you kicked the ball over the bar. You didn't hit the ball like you hit the ball 100 times in your career, you know, and it cost us points. That goal goes in. You never know what happened. Probably Man United would have won the game. Who knows? But it didn't help, did it, at the end of the day? Good morning, Xavier. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, coach. Bruno and Dalot killed our game yesterday. The coach is playing players in the wrong positions. Bruno, Mount, Ahmad played the wrong position. Let the coach change the system. 4-2-3-1. I agree with that, Xavier. 4-2-3-1 is the way forward. Most of the teams these days play a 4-3-2-1, 4-2-3-1 because it can change. You still got the wingers with the wing backs. You've got the 3 number 10s. You've got the 2 pivot in the midfield, and you've got the 1 up front. It's more attacking. It's more flexible. It's more relaxed for the players. They can play it a lot more better, more comfortably. Our players, a few of our players don't have the IQ to play the formation that Ruben Amorim wants to play. It can work, but he needs 11 of his own players. 11. Not just 4. He needs 11 of his own players, guys. You know, even the defense, he needs his own players. That is what that formation is. But we're not going to get that. We're not going to get the 11 new players. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, what I would say is that, yeah, a 4-2-3-1. I don't like the 4-3-3 too much. I think that it's a bit narrow sometimes. The 4-2-3-1 adds a little bit, solidifies the midfield. Also has 3 as a number 10 and the 1 up front. You know what I mean? And all you've done, you just tweaked it a little bit and taken off a defender and putting on another midfielder. That's all you've done. It's not much different. Games are won in midfield at the end of the day. You know, you don't need 3 defenders, 3 centre-backs. Why? So they can pass from side to side between each other. Pass from side to side between each other. We don't need that. Yeah, Lenny Yoro, man of the match. It's about time the manager changes a 3-4-3. Ain't going to work. It's not an overreaction thing, but we have all witnessed this form decisive. We need the results ASAP. But we didn't look in these defense. I would say we didn't win under 4-3-3 either, did we? You know, that's one thing I would say. Maybe it's the players that are a problem as well. I agree. Lenny Yoro Delic out for a system with a 4 at the back, knowing Amorim, he will never change it, and we will continue to use players out of positions just to accommodate the system. It's not, you know, I would say, Tybalt, in his defense, I would say it's not just his formation. I think it's the players he's playing. Yeah, as you said there, playing players out of position. I think it is the players that are playing. They can't play those positions. And, this is the thing. If you have players playing in their natural positions, maybe Man United will be more dominant. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll have a little bit more balance, He's gonna live and die on his sword, Tyborg. He's gonna live and die on his sword. He's gonna end up, flopping, and he's gonna end up going down the road of obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Louis van Gaal. We need to get rid of the players that need to go. Bruno Fernandez no longer is that guy. I've been saying it for months, and many of you, Tyborg, we've been saying it, that Bruno Fernandez is now becoming a liability. A liability. There is a way, guys. There is a thing, and I've said it over the last few weeks, guys. There's a thing called you can remove a player out of the team who's got the most amazing stats, goals, assists, everything. But it actually improves the shape of the side when you remove them. It actually improves the team as a whole. Look at Coutinho of Liverpool. It actually improved the whole team, the tactics, the shape of the team. Then you're more liable to win games rather than relying on stat padders. Because ultimately, that's what Bruno is. Someone said it earlier, like a few weeks ago, that Bruno never wins penalties. He only takes penalties. And I'm seeing balls kicked out of touch, guys. I'm not blind. We see it with our own eyes. I'm seeing balls. Even Ruben Amorim, you could see in Ruben Amorim's face, he was like, what do I do with this guy? It was like that. But what I say about Ruben Amorim, and I want to say this very clearly to Ruben Amorim, mate, I know he's Portuguese. I know you get on, you speak the same language, you can communicate better. But look at the football pitch, and you know what, mate? You have to make a big decision, mate. You have to make that big decision. You have to do it. Because otherwise, you're going to fall on the wayside. You're going to do what Erik ten Hag did. That's going to happen to you as well. You got to change it, Ruben. You can't keep Bruno Fernandez in that midfield. If you want to keep the formation, so be it. But you got to play the players in their correct positions. We have to go out and buy a right wing back. We've not got a right wing back. If you ain't got a right wing back, bring someone in from the youth team. That's what you do. Dalot is not that guy. Ahmad is not a right wing back. He can't play there. I've been saying it. I've been banging the drum about that for months now. He can't play that formation. He's not defensively astute. He's weak, and he's not positionally good, which is why Fulham were attacking that side. Casemiro, too old, can't move, too slow, too slow. Couple of nice passes from Mason Mount doesn't make me go, wow, at the end of the day, because we're not a threat on goal. You need that threat on goal. And I felt so sorry for Sesko when he came on, because when Sesko came on, it took Man United to the 90th minute to make one cross in the box. Amorim's tactical inflexibility is going to cost him this season, really. I don't know if it's inflexibility. I think he can do it. I've seen him do it. He turned to a 4-4-2 and a 4-3-3 during the game. Kenny, if you watch the game. He does it, but he doesn't do it often enough. He's very stubborn on his formation. It's more stubbornness than inflexibility. I think he can do it. He knows how to do it, but he doesn't want to do it. And that's the thing. Xavi was 4-3-3 at the World Cup. Yesterday, he changed... let me just go there. Yesterday, he changed the Madrid use for 4-3-3, and they won 3-0. What's stopping us, Amorim to change the system, or maybe he just know one system? I don't think there is to know one system. I think the system thing is very easy to play. These players know how to play it. They play it for their countries. They played it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, under Erik ten Hag. They know how to play that system. I think he knows. He's played it himself. You have to do your coaching badges when you're a manager. You have to do your coaching badges. And, he does know it. He's a smart lad. He should know it. I don't think it's so much that. I think that is part of it. But I don't think it's that. I think it's the shoehorning thing. It's the shoehorning players in position. Blaming the tactics is an easy thing to do. It's the shoehorning thing. That's just a part of it. I'm just saying that he needs to go to a 4-2-3-1 if he wants to play Bruno. My argument is that Bruno's playing out of position. Ahmad's playing out of position. These players, Mason Mount playing in up front, that is where Man United go wrong. That is where it's wrong. We need a Baleba. We need a Wharton. We need this in our defense, in our midfield, and you will see a huge improvement. It's not so much all about the midfield, the tactics. It's not all about that. It is also about shoehorning players into positions, and this is something that Man United never used to do in the 90s when I was growing up. Every single Giggs, Scholes, Keane, Beckham, gospel. Every single game doesn't matter. Giggs, Scholes, Keane, Beckham. We all knew. Right, players playing on the left foot is on the left, right foot is on the right. Every single position. balanced. And that's what Man United need to get back to. Get back to basics. Stop trying to be smart and stop doing it. Because at the moment, what we're doing, we're really stifling Mbeumo. We're going to stifle Cunha. And those two will be, again, another two players that came to Man United and it didn't work out at the end of the day, did it? Another one, isn't it, guys? But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. And we hope that it changes. I hope that it changes. We got Grimsby, and then we've got, obviously, Burnley, guys, coming up very, very soon. And we need two wins out of two there. Getting through in the League Cup, I know it's not important to some people. I know it's not the biggest competition in the world, but it will input some kind of confidence within the team. In my opinion, we'll get some confidence in the team. And I think that's very important that we do win these two games. Knowing our luck, we probably go to extra time against Grimsby. It goes to penalties as well. Knowing our luck, it'll probably be like that as well against Grimsby. Tyborg, with a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1, we would have all our players playing in their original position. Bruno could back to number 10. Ahmad, Cunha, and Mbeumo would be a classic wingers. Again, Ugarte as a CDM. Look, you know, there's so many things we can do, Tyborg. I just don't rate Bruno anymore. I think he's a decent number 10. I just don't rate him anymore. I think he does simple things badly. He kicks the ball out into touch. He does things badly, guys. And what I would say is that he's losing it. His petulance cost us the game yesterday, Tyborg. You know, it's time we moved on. It is time we moved on from him. And I've been saying it for ages now. We need to move on from Bruno. We need to move on from Bruno. We need to move on. We need to let, you know, at least drop him sometimes. At least put him on a bench sometimes. Do something. Try something else. Put him on the bench. Do something else. Do something surprising. You know, surprise us all at the end of the day. I don't see anything. I don't see him dropping Bruno. I think the only time we dropped Bruno, what I can remember, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only time we dropped Bruno was when we beat Barnsley 7-1. Barnsley 7-1. We scored 7 goals. That is when we dropped Bruno. The balance of the team looked fantastic. You know? It's bad, isn't it, at the end of the day? It is bad, but we have to see, guys. I also 4-4-2 Sesko wouldn't be as isolated. Unfortunately, Amran won't change it. I think it could cost him. I think a lot of people have slandered the 4-4-2 over the last years, Tybo. They say, oh, the 4-4-2 don't work. Listen, Sir Alex Ferguson played against the 4-3-3 when he was a manager. The 4-4-2 works. The 4-4-2 works because it's the most balanced formation there is. You've got 2 up front, 1 striker could drop. You've got the 2 wingers there. You can get crosses into the ball. You've got a CDM who can do the dirty work, and you've got the number 8 who can go forward and back the strikers. And there's no substitute for that. People overcomplicate things. Ruben Amorim's overcomplicated things, but I honestly don't think it's just the formation. I don't. I think it's the fitting of the players in the formation. It is the start. I think the formation works if you play the players in their correct positions. No matter what formation you play. I give you an example. When we played in the Champions League final in 1999, we played Giggs on the right, we played Blomqvist on the left, and we played Beckham in the middle. Why did we do that? Because we didn't have Scholes and Keane. They were suspended. Look at the difference in that team. There was no balance there. But it was a 4-4-2. But there was no balance there because they were being stifled in position. So what does that tell you? And then we changed the game, didn't we? We changed the game from Beckham back to the right, Giggs back to the left. What does that tell you? No matter what formation you play, no matter what formation it is, if you play players in their wrong positions and you shoehorn players into their wrong positions, it won't work. You could play a 4-3-3, a 4-5-1, a 4-4-1-1. You could play what you want. It's not going to work if you're playing players in the wrong positions. It doesn't matter about formation. Trust me. And I just gave you an example of tactics. It's not just that. It's playing the players in the wrong position. Doesn't matter about tactics. The only thing you can do is if you want to fit the players into the team is change your tactics. But he seems unwilling to do that. So then you're left with a situation where, look, Ruben, you're going to have one or the other. You're going to have to do one or the other, mate. You can't do both, and you can't have your cake and eat it. You either play Bruno as number 10, or you play Bruno, or you don't play Bruno at all. Oh, I can't play Bruno number 10 because I've got Mbeumo and Cunha. Then play the 4-2-3-1. You could play them both then, you know, and you could play a double pivot. You could probably play Mainu and Ugarte in that midfield. You could probably do that. Why don't you do that? Why does it have to be religiously for a 3-4-2-1? Why does it have to be that religiously? Why does it have to be that formation? No one's going to criticize you. No one's going to go out and go in on you if you change the formation. You are the manager. You make the decision. Say, look, you guys can't play this formation. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. And it's simple as that. I'm not moving that. You guys can't play it. I'm going to change it. And that's it. You know? A few comments, guys, in regards to Ruben Amram yesterday, guys. Let me just read some of these comments out. Guys, if you don't mind, a few comments coming in. Okay, so Ruben Amram said yesterday, guys, basically, let me just read this. Ruben Amram said, we have to grow up as a team. For me, the most important thing is that during the week, they were working really hard. Today, we worked really hard and we are going to improve. The moment that changed the game was our goal. Now, what does he mean by that? Does he mean it in a bad way? Does it mean it in a good way? You know, in regards to, we scored the goal and then we went back and we didn't play well. When we scored the goal, we didn't play well. My biggest concern is that, you know, when we took off Casemiro, I think it was, we were left with Mason Mount and Bruno in the midfield. And that was big no for me. That is a big bagel FC. That is ridiculous. That is a big hole. That's a volcano hole, guys. And I felt like that was wrong. You know, I felt when we score a goal, and this isn't a new thing, guys. Let me just tell you something about Man United over the last few years. When Man United score over the last few years, we've generally conceded goals straight away. We can't keep hold of leads. We can't go 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. We don't seem to have the ability to do that. This is why I was doubting the 3-0, the 4-0s. You know, and I was saying 2-1, Man United is going to be a difficult game. He went on to say, on growing up, training in the game, you need to win to have the feeling to relax a little bit. Not in the intensity and the way we play, but maintaining our mind. We suffer a little bit in this end because the momentum changed more with the goal of Fulham. I disagree with that somewhat. I think the momentum changed in the first half. At the end of the first half, Man United started to let Fulham back into the game. And this is what Man United keep doing. They keep giving teams a chance to get back into the game. That's what they do. Right. And this is a problem. And we've done this now for a couple of years. It doesn't matter. We score a goal. We end up letting them back into the game. We give teams a chance. We shouldn't even be giving them a chance. We should be cutting in, pressing, you know what I mean, absolutely on the front foot all the time. Try and look for 2-0. Try and look for 3-0. But it seems like as soon as we score one, that's it. We done it. We won. But it's not. It's never the case. You know, and how many points have we cost like that, you know? Ruben Amram said this well. In the first half, we were there. We missed the penalty. Fernandez has so much responsibility with him that I felt the lack of joy when he missed, and he was thinking in the past. Now we have to move forward, and now that happens. Now, look, he was thinking in the past. His mind was all over the place. Ruben Amram, take him off. Sir Alex Ferguson would have took him off. Ruben Amram, take him off. If he's not right in the mentally, take him off. And in my opinion, if you go all over the place, if you miss a penalty, you're not the right captain for Man United. If you feel like you can't cope with missing a penalty, you're not the right captain for Man United, in my humblest of opinion. Yeah, if you let it get to you, if you get stifled, if you get triggered by the referee, which was his words, by the way, then I don't think you were the right captain for Man United. We used to trigger referees. We used to be the ones who triggered them, not the other way around. Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely not. We used to trigger the referees, not the other way round, of course, guys. So, guys, that was some comments from Ruben Amram. Look, at the end of the day, look, Ruben Amram is always going to be defensive. He's always going to be in a defensive mindset. He's always going to defend his team. He's always going to be like that at the end of the day, you know, and you know, I respect that. But Ruben Amram needs to call things as they are. Bruno Fernandez needs some time on the bench. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did this. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer put Bruno Fernandez on the bench a couple of times. Sometimes you just do. You have to do it. Big up, Tyborg. MSK, what's going on? Good that everyone, Sal. Why don't our wing-backs and attackers cross the ball to the strikers? Fulham did that and it worked. Guys, you talk a lot of system, but we tried all these systems before with 7 managers. Absolutely. Spot on, MSK. It's not only about system. It's about the basics of the football game, MSK. And this is what I said earlier in the show. Cross the ball. I said it yesterday. Get the ball in the box. We complicate things. Back, forth, to me, to you, to me, to you. Back, forth, to me, to you. Cut in, to me, to you. We just need to get that ball on a sixpence like Beckham used to do. Get that ball on the right-hand side. Cross that ball into the box for the big man up front. Sometimes football is not difficult. Guys, it's not. We overcomplicate football. That's it. That's all it is. We're overcomplicating it. Get the ball, cross it in the box. It doesn't matter if you're playing a 3-4-2-1 or a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. It doesn't matter. What matters is a couple of things. Playing players in the right position and doing the right things at the right time that benefit the team. At the moment, we've got players who are a little bit like hero ball. I want to be the guy. I want to be the one who wins Man United the match. Bruno will get the ball, shoot a ridiculous shot from 40 yards. Bruno can't take corners. Bruno can't take, he's not good at it. As soon as Mbeumo takes a corner, we bloody score. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, how many goals have we scored from Bruno from corner kicks? Another thing, like this guy, look, I'm not putting it all on him, but he's the captain at the end of the day. Our players need to know when to change the shape of the system when attacking and defending, and they need to play in the right positions because at the end of the day, that is the biggest problem. Absolutely. That is the biggest problem. Randall, morning, Sal. Why does this manager persist with Bruno and why buy a striker and not giving the ball? Amram will be sacked. If he carries on like this, he's going to end up, it's going to be bad for him. He's got to change something and he's got to be brave. He's got to be brave. One thing about great managers, great players, is that every single one of them have a similarity about them. They're brave. They make bold decisions. Decisions that you think, what? You think, what? Really? He did that. He did that. You know what I mean? But again, it is a multi-thing. It is a multi-thing. It's not just system. Systems is a simple thing. It's simple-mindedness. Like what it is, it's all about a number of things. Yes, system's part of it, but it's also about start playing players in the wrong position, right? It's also about what Imsky said there. It's also about not crossing the ball when it's time to cross the ball, not getting that ball in the box. There's lots about football. I've seen a lot of football in 40 years, before some of you were born. It's all about playing the right ball at the right time. You know what I mean? Even if it's not flashy, you're not taking on the player and doing a little skill and a little shimmy. Where are the overlapping runs? There's no overlapping runs. Now, my biggest bone with this formation, let me tell you about this. And this is another complicated one, right? When you play a 4-4-2, you have the chance of an overlap. You have a chance of an overlap because when the two wingers go forward, the two wing backs go forward as well. The two fullbacks go forward as well. So how many times over the years have we seen Manchester United with Dennis Irwin doing the overlap, with Gary Neville doing the overlap, or Paul Parker, or Wes Brown, or something like that? How many times have you seen that over the years? We don't do that anymore because we can't play it. We don't have people who are willing to do the overlaps. Good morning, Helge. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, man. Everyone, emotions are running high, and I hope moving forward, people will be able to have different opinions about getting slagged off. I feel everything is overreacting. What I would say, Helge, is that, I think the Amram out brigade is overreacting. I think they're ridiculous. I think that overreacting about the formation and the tactics is a little bit overreacting. I think it works. It's just that we don't play the players in the right position. And I think that is the biggest criticism you can have. I keep saying stifle. Playing players out of position is a big problem. And as I gave an example, I gave people an example about tactics, right? You could play your 4-4-2s, your 4-3-3s, your 4-2-3-1s. As I said, scroll back to 1998, 1999. Man United played a 4-4-2. There was no Keenan Scholes. They were suspended. So Man United had to play Ryan Giggs on the right wing, Jesper Blomqvist on the left wing, David Beckham in the middle. And despite it being 4-4-4-2, and despite them being world-class players, elite players, some of the greatest in Man United's history, it didn't work because they were played out of position. And that's what I'm saying. Some people are too simplistic. They think, it's just the formation. The formation. Change the formation. You could change the formation, but if you're still playing Bruno in that midfield in the 4-4-2, it doesn't really matter, does it, at the end of the day? And that's what I would say. And this is what my argument would be. If he wants to play Bruno, he's going to have to change the formation. That is it. But if he wants to stick with that formation, he's going to have to play the right personnel in that formation. And that is what he needs to do. And this is something that we were talking about, Helge, before the game. We were talking about before the game, again, false number 9, things like that and stuff like that. Cunha win the post and scores a pen with 2-0. Maybe Sesko comes on and scores 3. It wouldn't be a discussion. Football is margins. Okay, it didn't happen. I agree, but it wasn't that bad. Helge, I know you want to sugarcoat it. It's sugarcoating a piece of shit at the moment. Mate, Helge, we're not creating clear-cut chances. We're looking for superhero moments. Yes, the game is measured on fine margins, Helge, respectfully. It's measured on fine margins. But we're not creating enough clear-cut chances. Even when Sesko came in the pitch, we're not creating chances. We're not getting the ball in the box. That's the biggest problem. You know, there's only so much, just like what happened yesterday. You can only hope for great goals and hero moments, only so much. You have to create clear-cut chances. We're not creating clear-cut chances. That's what the problem is. Yes, Cunha hit the post, but it was a moment of genius. You know, the long ball from Bayende. Why is our goalkeeper the only one who hit an assist? You know what I mean? Why is it a goalkeeper who's assisting Cunha? And that's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? You have to look at it and you have to be concerned. You know, why is that? Why are we not creating enough clear-cut opportunities? We didn't have any in the game. We didn't have any clear-cut opportunity apart from the two Cunha, which were freaks of nature because Cunha done a great skill and bent it into the corner. And that is all what Man United are looking for, great goals. We can't always look and go. When's the last time we crossed the ball head up 1-0? You know what I mean? When was the last time we did that? Something so simplistic. And this is going to carry on. We're going to carry on getting nils. We're going to carry on having minus goal difference. That's what we're going to do. Because on yesterday, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City would have played them yesterday and won 3-0. I hope my opinions can be respected because it's not. There is no point in discussion if the internet turns into echo chamber of going on the manager, acting like he is the main problem. He's not. We're speaking about the players as well. I back Cameron, but he did everything wrong yesterday. Contradiction held, no doubt about it. I think we should all play devil's advocate from Amram's side and see how that looks before we throw the toys at the pram. Held, that's a little bit disrespectful. Toys at the pram, Held, right? We're not throwing the toys at the pram. The community's not throwing the toys at the pram, mate. And I'll say it respectfully. We're talking about formations and stuff like that. He made the mistakes yesterday. He deserves criticism, and that's what we say. The people who are throwing the toys at the pram are the people that are saying, hammer him out. Get him out of my football club. Get him out of my football club. He's a fraud. Blah, blah, blah. Those Held are the ones. We're not doing that. We're calling the game tactically. I've given you some tactical insights here about what he can do, what he can change, differences, like, you know, in different scenarios. The simple things that we can do to make the game better. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. 4-3-3 don't work. I mean, I don't like the 4-3-3. I don't like the 4-3-3. I think the 4-2-3-1 is the way forward. It's what Tottenham played at the weekend, and we all know what the score was. Mickey, Sal, our future policy on the new manager coach should be on no players in the roster from country unless the manager is British. I'm done with Bruno and Dalot. I am as well. Guys, Held, sorry for spamming. No problem, mate. I just think if we hired him for the system, we fully back him or sack him. He's not but every great manager changed his system. As I said there, Sir Alex Ferguson changed his system. He can win if he changes it. If he's versatile, he can win. And that's what we're talking about because we believe in him because he can win. It's just a tactical tweak. It's not changing the system. You're just moving one defender into the midfield. That's all. That's nothing. At the end of the day, that's nothing. You're just moving one defender. Euro and De Ligt are good enough to hold out. They're good enough to hold out. The two wing backs can still go forward, just like Dennis Irwin did, just like Gary Neville did. The two wing backs can go forward. You know, you have to call the game and you have to look at things objectively, not just in this land where, you know what, he can do nothing wrong. Because we mentioned this yesterday. We didn't win this game. It's going to be a big problem, you know. Good morning, Paul. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Emski. We need a bulldozer in the middle. Go and get Baleba coming. Vingo, someone better. How the hell did Smith Rowe get that tap in? I agree. Guys, I agree. Absolutely. A back four would suit the team 100% better. That's clear from day one. Now he looks unadaptable and weak because now we have a squad almost a year later who still suits for the back four. This is the biggest issue that you're going to have, Held, is that the manager will look weak. You know, if he makes the change, he's going to look weak. But he could put that on the players and say that the players are not quite there yet in regards to my system. I could change the system and I'm going to change the system what's best for the team. My biggest problem is Held. My biggest issue is, mate, it's not like we have 60 injuries like Eric Ten Hag had. We don't have 60 injuries. My biggest concern is we have an opportunity to play Mainu and Nagati in that midfield. We can do that. We got it there. It's right there, right on the bench. But we're not doing that. We're purposely playing a player, Bruno Fernandez, in a number 8 position. We're purposely playing a player like Mason Mount in the wrong position. We're purposely playing a player like Ahmad in the wrong position. So that's, what is it? 3-4 players playing in the wrong positions. That's on him. There's options there. He can have the option to do that. Now, look, Ahmad had a bad game yesterday, probably a 5 out of 10. But it is what it is, guys. Absolutely, it is what it is. Let me just put this up. It is what it is. Guys, I want to know your man of the match. It does look like the main man, of course, is the man of the match, guys. It does look like we do have a Lenny Euro as the man of the match so far, guys. I think pretty obvious that Lenny Euro is the man of the match, guys. I think that's pretty obvious. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see Sanjay as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Helge. Big up. Good conversations here, guys. It's just a debate, guys. It's just a debate. It's just football. We're just talking passionately about our football club. That is what it is at the end of the day. We're just talking passionately about our football club, guys. Absolutely. Guys, in Amram with Charles. Neil, good morning. How you doing? Morning, lad. I want to know, where's that higher percentage of fans that would Bruno to stay instead of the money? I would like to know that, mate. They've gone missing, just like the people who were, saying and Ineos and this and that. They went missing, didn't they? They only turn up when there's a little bit of positivity. That's the only time they show up, is when there's a tiny bit of positivity, and that's when they show up, of course. Mark, I am sick of Bruno Dalla on the pitch. Amram, please forget this effing... There you go, mate. Big up, Mark. Good to see you, mate. Drop a like and don't bloody be a scouser. Big up, Neil. Good to see you, Neil Pillay. Good to see you. Held. We all said after the Spurs defeat, now it's time to either back him or sack him. They change these players, buy players who suit the system. Amram shouldn't shoehorn players in. He should have system players. He does, Held. Mainu and Ugarte are system players. Mainu would balance that midfield out. It's not ideal. I wouldn't say that, Held. But Mainu would balance that out. He would. If you played Ugarte and Mainu, it'd be much better. Probably would have won yesterday. And that's the thing. That's why the criticism is there. Because he can do that. He can. He's got the option. Liam, good morning. I think playing Bruno where he's playing him is going to cost Amram his job. He's not a number 8. He's a number 10. I agree with that, Liam. I agree with that. It's not only that. I saw some characteristics from Bruno's game that were worse than I've ever seen it before. I mean, he missed the penalty. He got triggered by the referee. I mean, who gets triggered by the referee? The referee gave you a little nudge. Who cares? Oh, wait, he didn't say sorry to me. Who cares about that? Get on, bury the penalty, move on. If you're not in the right frame of mind to take the penalty, give it to Mbumo, give it to Cunha. They will bury the penalty. Guys, but it is a few days to this window ends, guys. Let's see what's going to happen. Manchester United look close to signing Lammens. It could be today, guys. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. But I hope it's today, guys. We are very close. Positive talks have been conducted between Lammens and Manchester United. That deal is very close, guys. And hopefully, we pray we can, after that, we can move on to a midfield player and we can move on from there and bring in a new midfield player. Who knows what's going to happen? I've been told there is a surprise going on, guys. That is what I've been told. Let's see what happens. Let's hope we bring in a good player. And let's hope it's better than what we have at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. Guys, maybe a cheeky bit for Baleba. Maybe a Amadou Anana. Maybe it's a Luciano Gume. Maybe a Lamine Kamara. Who's it going to be? Is it a Yari Guerra? Is it Yorigiza from Athletic Bilbao? Who is it, guys? Is it Angelo Stiller? There we go, guys. It might be one of those guys. Hopefully we get one of those players in the door. That's what we need, guys. We need players, of course. Mark, first 10 minutes, we could lead 3-0. Bruno must be sold and used as money to build. I agree with Mark there. Revert 7. Good morning, Sal. Bruno is not a CM. We've said this many times before, but Amram is going to keep playing him there. I think yesterday, what I saw at Revert 7, the thing I saw yesterday, I saw a little bit of doubt in Amram. I saw a little bit of doubt in Amram. I saw a little bit of like this. This? I saw that. And it was directly after Bruno. I think there was one thing where Bruno done a cross ball. He done a cross ball and it went out of touch. It went out of touch. It went out of he went like this. That is when guys, that manager's having enough. He's going to drop him. I think he will. He will eventually. He will have to. I've watched Bruno since his debut. We should have sold a lot more players a long time ago. A lot of people have not watched the template Fergie used and how he won things. The name is front is bigger. Exactly, mate. Fergie was simplistic, Neil. This is why he weren't so good in Europe, right? It's because he played Premier League football in the Premier League and dominated Premier League football, all right? He had to adjust his formation in Europe to stifle teams because we were conceding too many goals in Europe. So it went to a 4-5-1, Alex Ferguson would do the simple things great. The most important thing about Alex Ferguson was effort. Effort. What did he say when Robin van Persie signed for Manchester United? He said, make sure you get that ball to Robin van Persie, otherwise you will not play for this football club anymore. That's what he said. Now Sesko's in that game. Now Sesko's playing for Man United. These Manchester United players, your Ahmads, your Dorgus, your Mbumos, your Cunhas, your Brunos, they need to get that ball to Sesko in the box. I would tell Sesko, your position is in the box, just outside the D, around there, around that little circle. That's your position, right? And as soon as we get the ball in the wing, you wait for that cross. That cross is coming in. That cross is coming in. That is what we should do. All this overcomplicating things, false number 9, inadverted wingers. Let's run, let's cut in, let's run, let's get in each other's way. It's enough. Enough is enough. We need to simplify things a little bit. Simplifies football. This is the Pep Guardiola generation. Of course, Pep Guardiola, he's ruined the football, to be honest with you, in my opinion, like with the simple things and stuff like that. Chow, the question is, we need a goal. Why Amram brings 3 defenders? People say Bruno is not a number 8, is fine, but we need to expand and say he is a number 10 and there are better number 10s. He is a number 10 and there are better number 10s, Neil. I said it earlier in the show, Neil, that I think we should sell him. I don't think he's that guy anymore. There are simple things of Bruno's game that he did wrong yesterday, and that had nothing to do with him playing in midfield. I'm talking about the simple passes, the simple ball, and he kicks it out of touch. How many times did he do that in a preseason friendly? And what did we say during the preseason friendlies? What did we say against Fiorentina? What did we say? We said he keeps kicking the ball out of touch. He keeps losing the ball. He keeps kicking the ball out of touch. I hope it doesn't get translated into the main games. And it did. Why did we lose against the game against Arsenal? A lot of people blame Bayindir for losing the game. Bruno gave away the ball for the corner. Why did we lose the game against Tottenham in Europa League final? A lot of people say it was Onana. A lot of people say it's Luke Shaw. Bruno gave away the ball. Now, this is right. We have to be Manchester United here. We've got rid of Beckham in the past, Jaap Stam in the past, Steve Bruce in the past, Paul Ince in the past, Mark Hughes in the past. Those were serial winners at Manchester United. Why is it all of a sudden some players are untouchable? Why? Afro Soup. Hi, hello, Sal. I noticed that the heads down syndrome is being transmitted to the new players as well. Drop Casemiro, Bruno, and Dalot, and the results are pouring. I agree, Afro Soup there. I don't think we are that far away. And this is what I'm talking about, Afro Soup. This is why I'm so frustrated about it. This is why I'm so annoyed about it, because I know that we're nearly there. I know he just needs to change 1 or 2 things in that team, and then we're going to be all right. I know that. And this is what frustrates me, guys. This is what makes me feel, come on, Bruno. Come on, Ruben. Come on. Play the right team. I didn't expect him to drop Sesko yesterday, and it was baffling. Held, to use comparison, if Pep took over Conte's Chelsea, he was promised a tiki-taka squad. The foul deliver it. The fans expect Pep to drop his formation, and because the players don't suit it. The problem is, Held, we have players who suit it. We have Mainu. We have Ugarte. The midfield is stifled because of Bruno. If we played Mainu in there, it'd be a lot more better. Mainu and Ugarte, it's better. Drop Bruno, it's better. Play Sesko up front, it's better. That's it. Simple as that. It might not be ideal, Held, but this is what we're talking about. He has the players there. He has Mainu there. He has them players there. All right, it's not the best players in the world, but you know what? That will add balance to our team right now. And our team would have been better than it was yesterday. He has the players there. Yes, Ineos need to buy in the Balebas. They need to buy in the Waltons. I know that. But we have better players than what played yesterday who fit the system. We had 2 midfielders who don't work, who proven don't work, Casemiro and Bruno, that I keep playing again, and time in and time out. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Why do we not cross the ball when the striker's there? It took us 30 minutes to cross the ball. Now, the manager should be on the touchline saying, get the cross in, get the cross in. That's what the manager should be doing. Not just standing there or bending down like this. It's simple. Sesko, 6'8", whatever he is in the box. Get the cross in. Get the cross in. And we didn't do it. We took 30 minutes to get the cross in. 30 minutes. Madness. Højlund being sold because he's poor. Sesko is for millions and looks worse than Højlund. The guy getting a ball. I don't think he looks worse than Højlund. I think he's a better player than Højlund, but he didn't get the ball. Exactly what you said, Mark. He's not a bad player. He just didn't get the ball. Ogmigi, good morning. A stubborn fly goes to the grave of a dead body. In my opinion, sack Pep and hire a manager with fits the Conte's type of squad. So either sack Amram and hire a the back manager, or let the process take its turn, not asking him to change. Making tweaks in your system shows managerial quality. It doesn't show managerial weakness. It shows managerial quality. Changing from a 3 to a 4 at the back is Manchester United historically, right? That is what we are. And it will help the team a lot more. With the players that we have right now, and Mbeumo, Cunha, it will help. Playing a 4-2-3-1, you win that midfield because you have Mainu and Ugarte in there. And you can play Bruno. You can play Bruno, Cunha, and it's not working. It don't work in the Premier League, Helge. And that's it. And we have to look at it realistically. But I'm totally not going to blame just the system. Like I said, Helge. Like I've said, right? I'm not going to flip-flop from this. It doesn't matter if you play 4-3-3. It doesn't matter if you play 4-4-2. If you play players out of position, that formation, come on, Helge, get with it. That formation will not work. I told you about the 98-99 final. It will not work if you play players out of position. He's playing players out of position, not because he doesn't have the players. He has Mainu. It's because he opts to play Bruno in the middle. He opts to play Bruno Fernandez in the middle. That's what he does. It's his choice. He could play Kobe Mainu and he could play Ugarte. He could do that. He could do that and it will be much more balanced. Now, I understand about the right wing back position. I understand we need a right wing back, but he needs to concentrate on balance. Mainu, Ugarte are at the football club. Play them. That's it. You know, play them. If you have to drop Bruno, so be it. That's life. Not dropping Bruno is down to him. It's his choice. You know, it's his choice. At least do something different. Try something. It might not work. But it is more balanced, isn't it? Mainu, his whole life he's been playing as a midfielder. And I'm sure Ugarte wants to play with a proper midfielder. He doesn't want to be left on his own or Casemiro left on his own where Bruno is all the way down at left back doing hoofing balls up to Mbeumo and Cunha or hoofing balls out into touch. Got to make the big decisions. You've got to make the big decisions. If Bruno Fernandez was mentally all over the place, once he missed that penalty, he should have been taken off. That's what should have happened. He should have been taken off. And that's what great managers would have done. Big up, Helge. Neil, Portuguese connection going to kill us. How long it takes for a manager to pick this up? He had half a season with Bruno, a final, a preseason. Now we've seen anything different? Nothing different. And that's the thing. Ironically, attacking-wise, we looked when Sesko came on, that second half was awful. I think that's because we had Mason Mount and Bruno in the midfield for a little while, and we looked bad. There was no supply coming into Sesko. You got to give him a chance. The flapping had me, but I mean the goalkeeper, yeah, definitely. The 11 players need to be without Shaw, Bruno, Casemiro, Dalot, and Bienda. I agree, Mark. Sell Bruno, get Baleba. Only way to see it. I don't think we're going to sell him, Neil. I think we're too late in the window now. We're far too late in the window, in my opinion. Revert 7. Dalot has been atrocious for a year. What was he doing lead up to the Fulham goal? And where was Bruno? Exactly. Sal, why Amram bring defenders on when we need a goal? Because he wanted to play hoofball, Ephraim. That's why. Best game last season was without Bruno, and it was 10 men without Bruno. Amir, you're on smack, mate. You need to calm down on the Charlie, brother. You need to get away from it because your positivity is exasperating, mate. It's ridiculous. I mean, just coming on here saying, Amram forever. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best, mate. I don't know what's going on with you, mate. Sell Ruben and bring in Luis. Absolutely. Revert 7. Bruno lost his focus so easily on that pen. No offense, Amir, but you know what? Patronizing is not good. You know, it can be deemed patronizing. Amram is spoiling Ahmad Diallo's future. Big up Justin, by the way. We need Baleba and Wharton to transform that midfield. I agree. Streamlabs are aware that Arsenal game was a year ago. Yeah, I got to end that. Sorry, Tyborg. I want to end that today. But it's not happening. No. Helge, I'm at the point where it's okay just to say, Aaron, look, how much better it comes. The team would look a bit better with 4 at the back, but how much these players sack. Yeah, no one's saying sack Amram though in this stream. No. What I would say is that it might not work, Helge. Exactly what I said earlier. It might not work, but try something different. These players obviously are going to use that excuse. So why don't we change it? Stop using that excuse. As I said, Helge, if you scroll back to the beginning of the show, I said it don't matter what formation we play, Helge. It doesn't matter. If you play players out of position, please listen to this. It's very important. If you play players out of position, it doesn't matter what team you play. It doesn't matter 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. It doesn't matter. The fact is, Ruben Amorim is choosing to play Bruno as a number 8. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-4-2 or what. He's choosing to play Bruno Fernandez as number 8. It's his choice. He could play Mainu and Ugarte. He could play the same formation. It's fine. Play it. But play players in the right positions. That's what we're saying. It doesn't matter about formation. It's not the be-all and end-all. I've said it hundreds of times. Please listen and don't cherry-pick things that are... What you do, you say, he's playing the players out of position. We're not talking about playing a 4. We're not talking about that. We're talking about playing players out of position that he's shoehorning players into positions unneeded. Just a simple change of Mainu for Bruno would have changed the whole dynamic for that game because it's balanced. You've got Mainu, who's a proper number 8, England international, played in the Euros final, proper number 8. And that's what I was saying, Helge, respectfully. And that's what I mean. I'm talking about that, not so much about the system. I think systems are overrated. I'm talking about what's not overrated is shoehorning players into positions that they don't play. Mark, I think it's playing players out of position, Mark. Playing players out of position. Ogmigi, big up Sal. If Amram kept Bruno for them, then I'm certain he's good. Ogmigi, he's not clueless, mate. He's not clueless. You don't win titles in Portugal as much as you rate the he's not clueless, mate. He's not clueless. That's just over the edge. That's, those guys over there, opinion. He's not clueless. He knows what he's doing. It's favoritism. It's favoritism. There's a difference between being clueless and showing favoritism. He knows it's a problem. He knows it's a big problem. Story, it's not the system. It's playing players out of position. Story, wake up. Wake up. Neil, you said you're talking about greats. Guys, Barca football in 09 was the best football the world has ever seen. United was the only one with the balls to try and go toe-to-toe with that. We lost our. Neil, as I said earlier in the show, Alex Ferguson was tactically naive in Europe. He was. When we beat Barcelona in 2007, 2008 in the European Cup semi-final, we beat Barcelona 1-0 in aggregate, right? How did we play? We stifled them. The biggest mistake that Alex Ferguson made in that Wembley final and indeed in the Rome final as well, is that Alex Ferguson went toe-to-toe with Barcelona. But he didn't only go toe-to-toe with Barcelona, he went toe-to-toe with Barcelona with Ryan Giggs in the middle of the park. Ryan Giggs in the middle of the pitch against Iniesta and Xavi and that. And that was wrong. That was naive. That weren't Man United. Play Giggs on the left. Play Jason Park in the middle. Yeah, we missed Darren Fletcher for one of those games, but play Jason Park in the middle. And I think we should have went more defensive. Sometimes you have to take the bullet, bite the bullet and say, that's it. We went toe-to-toe with Barcelona and we were destroyed. Not once, but twice. And that's where naivety comes in. I would have much rather us sit back, 5 at the back, stifle them, and that's it. But that's a different type of game. I don't know why we're going in the realms of Barcelona all those years ago, of course. Absolutely, yeah. Bruno will leave next summer. 4-3-3 was an amateur try instead of they played it under Eric Ten Hag, Justin, and it didn't work, including your Brunos and your Casemiros and your De Ligt, so they didn't work. 4-2-3-1 for me. But I'm not blaming the system. It's not a good ball knowledge to just blame the system. It's playing players out of position. You could play the 4-3-3, but if you play Bruno in that middle of the park, you're going to have the same problem. A 4-3-3 is going to, guys, let's say this, right? He plays a 4-3-3, right? Let's say he plays a 4-3-3. He's going to play Bruno in the middle, right? He's going to play him as a midfielder, or he's going to play him up front. Both of those positions don't work. The only way it works if it's a 4-2-3-1, if you move out a defender and you move the 2 and you move Bruno into the number 10. The 4-3 don't work. That is just dead ball knowledge thing, at the end of the day. No disrespect to anyone, but I've heard that a lot over 4-3-3 doesn't work because obviously you're still going to have to play Bruno, and Bruno don't play in the middle, and Bruno don't play as a number 3 up front as a 3. You know, and that's the thing we would say. And it didn't work under Eric Ten Hag, did it? Got him sacked. Sal, Amram said the Mainu has a compete with Bruno with this Bruno performances. He has not have to compete. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's sack and get a manager who will be stubborn in different ways and favourites with angers us, just like Van Gaal did, Mourinho did, Solskjaer did, Ten Hag did. Always their fault. Helge, mate. I'm going to have to be careful here because, Helge, you know, we're talking about a manager playing players out of position here, right? I don't care about the 3 in the back. I don't care about the 4 in the midfield. I don't care about the 2 up front. I don't care about the 1 up front. All I care about is playing players in their correct position. I think you're ignoring me, Helge. You're ignoring me, mate. I've said it 100 times. I'm talking about, I mean, the sign of intelligence, Helge, is listen, okay? Please, I listen to you all the time. I read you out all the time, mate. I read 100 messages. I always go to you. What I would say is this, right? He should stop playing players out of position. Stop playing them out of position. Play the formation you want to play. Just stop playing players out of position. Stop shoehorning players into position and play the players that should be playing in right positions. He's got the players there, Helge. He's got the players there. You know, that's what we're saying. Helge, you're repeating yourself, Helge. You're repeating yourself, Helge. Helge, you're repeating. If you don't listen to me, there's no point you being here, mate. You have to listen to me, Helge. I'm repeating it. It's not about formation. It's about not playing players in. It's about playing players in the right position. Should I write it on a piece of paper, Helge? Should I write it on this phone? Or should I read it to you? What should I do? Come on, Helge. Come on. Come on. Oh, God. That way, there's a big respect, Helge, but come on, listen, mate. 7, it's disrespectful not to listen to what I'm saying. No one's talking about the formation. It's not all about the formation. I'm not. But you're making it out that I'm saying it's all about the formation when we're not. You know, 7 winners to win in our games matches. Are these facts that indicate changes needed? No, not yet. Think 33-7 formation needs to change. 4-3-2-1. Goodness me. Dorgu, Jaro, Dalit, Mazru in the back 4. 4-2-3-1. Mainu, Ugarte, Cunha, Bruno, Amuna. That's exactly what I said. Big up, Mark. That's what I said. 4-2-3-1. Saviour, he's got the players there. This is what I'm talking about. He's got the players there to change it if he wants. 28 player turnover again for Amram. Formation is not working. It's the players, Saviour. It's the players, mate. It's been shoehorned. The formation is not the problem, Saviour. Please, please, please. Where are you from, Saviour? Where are you from? Please, can you tell your mates, guys, that it's not the formation, guys. It's not the formation. It's the bloody players playing out of position. That's what it is. Neil, if Bruno and Dalot get the game after this, it will be diabolical. Guys, diabolical. What's this? Full owner. So since someone else messes up, we should sell Bruno now and tweak and see what happens missing the window. We get a new manager who would be... No one's saying sack Amram here at the moment. No one's saying sack Amram. Helge, I know you're sick at the moment, but I think it's getting to your head a little bit, bruv. Guys, we must carry on about. No one's saying sack Amram, Tyborg. No one's saying it. No one's saying sack Amram. Who's saying sack Amram here? Guys, big up Ellen, relax. It's just one match. Last game was good. Against the big teams, as usual. Sal, the mentality of the team was not good. Yeah, we're talking about formations here, Tyborg, Helge. We're talking about formations here, tactics in regards to team selection, playing the players in the wrong positions. Absolutely. That's what we're doing. Absolutely. That's what we're doing, guys. Absolutely what we're doing. Bear me a second. Just reading this tweet. 6 out of 10 window, you say? Yeah, I agree with that at the moment. Around that much. We're reality, guys. And this is what we're saying, mate. Exactly, you're contradicting, Helge. Exactly what I'm saying. The favourites, it needs to change. Formation is not a problem. Favourites needs to change. Shoehorning needs to change. Absolutely, that is what it is. Shoehorning needs to change, guys. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Neil, Ellen, I didn't start watching the last match though enough, but big up Helge, by the way. Big up my friend. Ellen, good. Did you win? United is getting relegated under Amram. No, he's not, guys. Come on, guys. Ahmad is a winger. Amram should use him as a super sub. I agree with that one. You speak the truth. We do need a right wing back. Ahmad isn't it. Absolutely. Helge. And now they haven't fixed the squad. Guys, come on. Big up Helge, by the way. Big up everyone. Everyone. Every legend in the house, guys. Big up Helge. Thank you. Much love to Helge. Much love to everyone. Bruno will be left out the team versus Grimsby. Watch them play the blah, 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 blah. Absolutely, guys. Guys, that's me for today. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Absolute legends. Guys, thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. I've gone way over time, guys. Sorry, I wrote that tweet wrong. I agree with you, Helge. I just read your comment, Helge. I agree with you, mate. I just read my comment wrong. I wrote a comment. I wrote it wrong, mate. Guys, I agree with you, mate. Thank you, Helge. Great discussion. Great discussion. It's what we like. Passionate discussion, guys. That's what it's all about. Absolute passionate discussion at the end of the day. That's what we like, guys. That's what we want at the end of the day, guys. Spot on. Guys, yeah, someone's called Stretford Post who posted on, I don't know, guys. Weird. Guys, thank you for joining me. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post. I'll be back later with a Chatterbox. And if I'm live later on, if anything breaks, take it easy, guys. I will be live. Take it easy and have a great day. I'm Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post. I'll see you at Chatterbox. Take it easy. Peace.